How's it going, everybody? My name is FaZe Crypto, and today we are talking about Nucleus Vision Ncash. Those of us who've been paying attention to cryptocurrency for any amount of years, those of us who've been paying attention to basically the leading edge technologies that are going to be shaping the future, have all pretty much received a full class lecture and education regarding Internet of Things time and time again. Anybody who's pretty much interested in seeing the various different developing industries that are going to be significant in the future, Internet of Things is really on the top of a lot of really high profile big money people who seem to point out the fact of the matter with nuclear, all these different things. And it really is interesting to see how these different huge things are implementing themselves in our society. But for those of us who need basically a brush up on the Internet of Things, well, it's really unprecedented, and it's hard to understand exactly how big this is in scope because it's so huge. I mean, this picture, it's all around the world. It involves every single appliance, every single little thing getting attached to the internet, and it's a full new paradigm of the internet, and it's bringing us into the next generation. So when you consider a technology like Ncash, you consider what they're doing when it involves data and what they're doing that involves putting the control of data back into the user's hands, and especially leveraging that in the context of retail environments. It's really one of those things that's a leading edge paradigm shift. That's something that's really exciting for those of us who've been paying attention to this from a data analytical perspective, but of course multiple different perspectives, of course. But looking forward, I think Nucleus Vision definitely does have the power to bring us into this next stage where the global community can really leverage the potential that's made available by cryptocurrency technology. And when we talk about the fact that Bitcoin was, of course, the beginning, and there's so much more that's going to have potential to rise in respect to the new paradigm of digital currencies, it's really exciting to be seeing all these different potentials. And of course, it's so early in the game, and there's so many things that can be connected. And the fact that Nucleus Vision has positioned themselves in such an interesting way, it's definitely, looking forward, one of the cryptocurrencies that I'm paying closest attention to moving forward. It takes a sort of a special mind to understand how the world of tomorrow is going to look, but honestly, I don't think that it takes very much vision at all. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who have a hard time grasping it, but I think anybody who's got an IQ that's outside of the double digits can pretty much grasp the concept of new people and new things getting added to the internet, and basically this huge community that's going to involve everybody no matter how smart you are. So whether this is something that you ignore or this is something that you're really excited about makes no difference, because the fact of the matter is that cryptocurrency is such a huge paradigm shift that it's going to affect the everyday lives of the people that you know and love, and yourself included, to a huge extent. In basically understanding this in sort of a microcosm level would be thinking about how much were you affected when every single phone became a smartphone. Now multiply that times 10 million and imagine every single electronic appliance being added to the internet, because every single year technologies become cheaper to develop. A good example of this would be considering a simple microchip that's inside of a Mother's Day card, for example. Happy Mother's Day, everybody, as well. But yeah, so you'd have a simple microchip inside of that thing, and imagine how much money that microchip would have taken to develop in the 1950s. Would have taken tons and tons of resources and the smartest minds from all around the world just to develop that simple technology that's available in every single CVS. That's the beauty of technology over the course of a few years. Another example would be cameras. That same technology was applied, and now you see cameras everywhere because it becomes cheaper to develop. And the same thing is happening with smart technology. So over the course of a few years, you'll see that same technology that was once very expensive and put in every single phone and computer, and eventually that will be adapted and implemented into so many different various things, it'll make your head spin. So when I see a cryptocurrency that's leveraging this and taking into consideration data, especially in the light of the public conversation that's happening to that regard, very exciting things happening with Nucleus Vision. And honestly, when it comes to Nucleus Vision, I'm really excited to be seeing all the different potential that's in store for this technology. When you pay attention to the conversation that's currently happening in the public discourse regarding the usage of data, it's really unprecedented what's happening involving the digital age and how society is getting used to these different technologies. And really, it's sort of the brewing of a perfect storm for a technology like Nucleus Vision that's really positioning themselves in respect to the totality of this opportunity. So overall, I'm definitely really looking forward to the potential that Nucleus Vision will be exerting for itself moving forward, and seeing how Q2 of 2018 treats us. Looking forward, I think that there's a lot of interesting deals that are being struck regarding Nucleus Vision, and of course the various different developments that are happening within the project. It really is interesting, and I definitely recommend that if you aren't already, you should make sure that you follow Nucleus Vision on their Twitter, just because Twitter is a really great resource when it comes to staying up to date regarding information that involves all different cryptocurrencies. And I'd also recommend that you follow me on my Twitter as well. I'll actually be including a link to my Twitter as the first link in the description. So if you're interested in participating in the community and so forth, I'm always interested in seeing the different opinions that people have to share when it comes to these technologies and so forth. And in the spirit of sharing different people's opinions, I'm actually going to be including a link to this video by Crypto Pros, which provides a really interesting price prediction for Nucleus Vision. And I'll include the link to, it's just a 3-minute video that goes into really interesting detail regarding the potential that's in store for Ncash as we move forward and we see what May has to offer for the cryptocurrency community. And remember, this standard disclaimer, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. The whole purpose of me making this video is to share my opinion regarding these technologies, and it's really important to remember I'm not your dad. You can write that down, because at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own decisions, which is why I'd recommend that everybody do your own research when it comes to these technologies and so forth. And of course, it's fun to make YouTube videos and so forth and talk about these different things and interact and sharing all this different information. But at the end of the day, I would always recommend that you go to the most authoritative resources that are physically possible. But overall, when it comes to cryptocurrency, I think that it's interesting. We were seeing sort of a recovery from that position that we were at back in April, where certainly there was an interesting downtrend that went from February all the way to April. And then, of course, over the course of a month, we witnessed that sort of upward mobility happen again. But I've said this before, that it's important not to get your hopes up, because when it comes to cryptocurrency, it really is a very volatile space, and we do see things going up and down. So we might not be out of the woods. A lot of people were speculating whether we're in a bear or a bull market. And it's really going to hinder on the public consciousness and how these things continue to develop and move forward. So a lot of different interesting things that are happening. But in respect to the public consciousness, I'd always say that it's interesting to look at the different news articles that are being promoted regarding the cryptocurrencies of your choice. This pretty much goes for any cryptocurrency. But when it comes to Ncash, they really are a social media cryptocurrency in the sense that they gain a lot of their popularity from people talking about them on social media, and they've really grown into prominence through a lot of people giving them credit where credit's due. So it is interesting to see people talking about Nucleus Vision in a positive way. It's also interesting to check out the Reddit for Nucleus Vision to stay up to date regarding the community. And there's a lot of smart people on Reddit. I know people have mixed feelings regarding using Reddit, but overall it is an interesting resource for gaining information regarding cryptocurrencies and so forth. So yeah, all that being said, I'm definitely interested in seeing where things are going to be moving forward in respect to these Internet of Things technologies. Certainly seeing Nucleus Vision at that number 112 position. I think that there is a ton of potential for Nucleus Vision to be in the top 100 of cryptocurrencies in the near future, as we continue to see this technology connecting things that otherwise might have not been perceived to be possibly connected. And in a lot of different ways, we're seeing this sort of international paradigm shift that's happening involving cryptocurrency in general. And it really is important to recognize how early in the game we are when it comes to speculating on these different technologies and overall doing research. So it is interesting to be this early in the paradigm shift of something that's going to be having such a significant effect on so many different levels of society. So overall, I'm really happy to be seeing this community that's been growing on all these different social medias and so forth. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where things will be going, and I'm fairly confident in seeing the potential for Ncash to probably break resistance on where it currently is. And I think that the potential for seeing Nucleus Vision being worth a significantly higher portion than it is right now, especially in the light of what's happening with the total market cap. I think that if trends continue to move forward, the Nucleus Vision definitely does have potential to see some significant gains in the long term. It is sort of a slow burn when it comes to the Internet of Things. It's like every single year there's a lot of new variables that come to light, which pretty much shift the space. But overall, I'm really excited to be seeing these things as they've been developing. But of course, remember to share your opinion in a comment down below, and of course, remember to subscribe to the channel and share this content with friends and family and anybody you think is interested in cryptocurrency. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.